I remember when my parents had passed, right? And I had the opportunity to have a meal with Derek Luke and his wife. And, he was telling me how much my dad had done for him early on in his career, like when he made the decision to be an actor, right? And to go all in with his belief in himself and acting. And he read my dad's book, Unleash Your Purpose. And that book like really did something to him. And he was just able to like focus himself and really focus in on like what he was trying to achieve and, put his all into it. Right. And we was just having this conversation. And this was like a year after my parents had passed. And we was having a conversation and I was expressing to him like some of the challenges I was having at the time. And a lot of it had to do with like the people that were around me, right? And just like the disappointments that, I had or that I was experiencing from them, right? Because, some of them have been individuals who have been around for like so long and have been good friends of my parents. And, I've known them for years and, they were doing things and, certain things are being said and done that just were disappointing me. And, I had made a statement to him. I was like, man, I don't know how my dad used to do it, right? My dad used to have these individuals around him who clearly had ulterior motives, right? And who didn't really have his or our family's best interests at heart. And that's something I realize now that's pretty normal, right? Everyone is really going to fend for themselves when it comes to life and their advancement in it, right? And their betterment of it. And Derek Luke said something to me that resonated with me. It actually wasn't something that I heard for the first time, because my dad used to say it all the time and would used to tell me it as well, right? But I guess I never really paid too much attention to it. But when he said it and we kind of had a discussion about it, it really hit home with me at that point. And we discussed Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 and 6. Right, and it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him and he will direct your path, right? And I was just having this issue with like, man, my dad had all of these people around him. Like, how did he do it? Like, I'm not able to do it, man. I can't, I don't know how I can be around people who like just aren't who they say they are. And man, he recited this verse to me and just was like, man, this is what your dad used. This is what he did. Like, I know it for sure. And I was like, man, you know what was crazy? Like, my dad used to quote this verse all the time. We used to have a discussion about this verse. At least he used to quote this verse to me all the time. And, for some reason, it was at that point, like the verse really started to make sense, right? The trust that we have should never be in people, right? People are going to fail us 100% of the time, because we're imperfect individuals. I fail, people around me fail me, right? The trust should never be in people. Our trust should be in God. And I think once our trust is founded in God and we look to him to get all knowledge and understanding about the situations and the individuals around us, then our trust in him, it is greater than any expectations or any circumstances that could happen in any of our circles, right? Because we're focusing on God, right? And God is guiding us through the paths of life, the journey of life that we go through, the successes, the failures, the rewards, the disappointments, all of these things that we go through in life. He's guiding us, right? Because our trust is in him. So even if someone is in our life for an ulterior motive, right? For something that's benefiting them and not really having our best interests at hand, I think once we focus in on God, right, and what God wants us to get out of that relationship, then them doing whatever it is that they're going to do eventually, there's no disappointments involved, because we're focusing on him. And man, that verse just changed my whole perspective moving forward. So from that day to now, like, there's just I'm able to deal with people on such a different level, right? Because I have no expectations of individuals around me, right? I expect everyone to be human, to be imperfect, to maybe you having a bad day or a bad week or a bad year, and you decide to make certain decisions that you feel need to be made. that it's going to affect me negatively, but you in a positive way, maybe. I can't fault you for that, right? And there's no disappointments involved. I think the expectation should be that humans aren't perfect, right? I think that should be the only expectation that we have. And I think that puts us in a different mindset, right? On a different level when it comes to how we relate and how we interact with others, because it allows us to, like I said, not put our faith, not put our trust in an individual person.